Okay, and this is one of my little note that I took to find out, to learn for myself how the Ethiopian dominion realm, or how the Ethiopian geography evolved over many, many centuries. At the outset, I like to say that maps, or the subject of geography, as the subject of history, it all depends on who writes them, who is in power to write those history notes, who is in power to influence how geography looks like. So the subject of geography must be taken as with care, with care. You don't simply look at geography, look at a map, and then believe. So geography, the map you see, uh, happens to be some sort of a symbol for your pride, a symbol for the greatness of your country. It is in general fake. Okay, we are going to look at basically how Ethiopian geography, the map of Ethiopia, evolved over many, 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 many centuries. So I'm going to look at various ideas. One of them, I called it the Ge'ez geography or Sabian geography. You can name it as you wish, but this is a quote from one of the important books in Ethiopian history, ክብረ ነገሥት. In ክብረ ነገሥት, basically, Ethiopia at that time, by tradition still today, acknowledges two states, only two states of the world. There is a Roman state, there is the Ethiopian state. The world is divided into two parts. So here is a map of Ethiopia according to ክብረ ነገሥት. So it says it is about the division of the earth. The central point where everything is being divided is Jerusalem. So you imagine Jerusalem, go right in the middle, okay, in the middle of Jerusalem, and from the north thereof to the southern portion is Emperor of Rome. And from the middle of Jerusalem, from the north thereof to the south and to the western India is the portion of the Emperor of Ethiopia. For both of them are the seed of Shem. Shem means Sem, Semite. The son of Noah, the seed of Abraham, the seed of David, the children of Solomon. For God gave the seed of Shem or Sem glory because of blessing of their father Noah. The emperor of Rome is the son of Solomon. The emperor of Ethiopia is the firstborn of the eldest son of Solomon. So the world is divided into two parts. One part is given to the emperor of Rome. The other part is given to the emperor of Ethiopia. Let us look at the world map again and then see what they are saying. Here is the you can find some of these stories, or the Queen Sheba, from various sources. Queen Sheba in Arabic, Al-Malak Bilqis, her name is Bilqis, and so on and so forth. Please read that. So here is the word. According to ክብረ ነገሥት, the map of Ethiopia will look like this. Let us draw the map of Ethiopia. Okay, I'm going to draw the map of Ethiopia. Okay, so somewhere here is Jerusalem. Right here is Jerusalem. So the king of Rome takes this part, maybe a little bit of there, and then the rest, all this part is Ethiopia. This is the map. This is Rome, that's Ethiopia. That's the division of the earth. Okay, so if you were a student during the time of these emperors, during Shiva, this is what you will learn as the Ethiopian dominion. That would have been the Ethiopian dominion. Okay, so what is next? Now, we are going to come to some sort of contemporary. Contemporary in this case is probably during the Egyptian times. Now, between these times, the Egyptians all the way to the current situation, one of the things that we have to do is simply see if there is any indication of any mention of places, names of places in ancient Egyptian literature. So when you go to ancient Egyptian literature, still in my own way, I'm trying to find out if there is such name as Ethiopia, I think I will succeed. On the other hand, we can actually find in the Egyptian literature some of the Ethiopian places. So there are very old places in Ethiopia. This documentation is found from a publication by the French Center for Ethiopian Studies. So here is the what this say. For example, there is Amhara, Tigray / Eritrea. This 4000 BC before Christ. There are real named places. For example, Amara, okay, Takaru, Tigray. I think this time there is an expression called Tagaru. So Tagaru is right there. Baha Beza Agame, Ahahuf, Achafar. Achafar is a place along the way to Matamba. This is in Gojam. And then Utwa, Adwa, Athala, Adolis, Mturat, Ndarta, Anbat, Ibnat is in South Gondar, Tasfu, Tasfa, Agami, and so on and so forth. Probably we'll get hundreds of names of places in the Egyptian literature. So in other words, these major groupings, namings, were there before, including the name of the places. So where we live, the current places that we call Ethiopia is probably one of the few ancient places compared to other countries. Okay, next. Now, we are going to look at the map of Africa in 16th, 17th, 15th centuries. Here is a map of Africa. And if you look with magnifying glass on this map, you will see the following. For example, the map of Ethiopia is right at the center. Right here is the map of Ethiopia, right there. Okay, and Egypt moved over here. I think in later maps you will find out that Libya also moved over here. Libya, there is an interior part of Libya, and then the Egyptian interior and so on. In this map, clearly we have Ethiopia right there. And then when you look very carefully here, they actually call, there is a word right there that looks like Habasha. So Habashat is mentioned there. I advise you to look at this map with a magnifying glass, like this, a magnifying glass, and read very carefully, okay? I read Habashat there. Of course, some of the familiar places are here. I believe somewhere also Nubia is mentioned and so, okay? And also the sea itself that is also mentioned as Red Sea. What is very interesting is before they mentioned Aksum, they actually mentioned Monroe. Monroe. Monroe is one of the civilizations bordering the current Sudan and Ethiopia. Actually, according to Ethiopian history, Monroe was destroyed by Aksum, and Aksum was able to have influences deep inside Nubia. Okay, that is what I read. Next. Now, in this map, I didn't see much. I didn't see much. On the other hand, though, if it's very dense to read, I try to find out the places, current places, and things like that. It's so dense. So there is probably, I believe, probably there are the names that of interest to us. Now, this is so interesting. That is, Ethiopia actually got bigger in this map. That is, if you look very carefully, there are two Ethiopias in here. The inferior Ethiopia, Ethiopia inferior, and then Ethiopia superior. Now, Ethiopia inferior is here. This is Ethiopia inferior. This is Ethiopia inferior right there. And then Ethiopia superior is right here. Okay. And then it got bigger, actually kind of went a little inside, well, closer to the current place we call Ethiopia. And then one thing very, very interesting here is that this sea was called the Ethiopian Sea. Actually, the Ethiopian Sea is, while it is here, the Atlantic Ocean, the name of the Atlantic Ocean came here. In prior maps, the Atlantic Ocean, actually, the whole thing was called Ethiopian Ocean. This is 1644, as you can see the date here. This is 1644 to 1737. So again, if you magnify this place, like Nubia is right there. If you magnify this place, you can find current names also. Now, in this map, this is a map of animals and people. I did not find anything that is as far as land is concerned. But again, Oceanus Aetopicus is right there. So in fact, there is something that I have started many years ago to petition, authorities that to name the ocean back to us Ethiopian Ocean. I don't believe anyone will agree with me, but it is worth asking though. Okay. So again, this map is a map of animals and peoples and places and things like that. Again, a good magnification would show lots of places here. Probably at the time this map is made, these areas probably were called also Ethiopic, Ethiopia inferior, Ethiopia superior, etc., etc. Okay. So far so good. Now, in this map, we have clearly Ethiopia is mentioned right here in this particular map. Again, one important thing that I advise everybody to do is find this map, or we can share this map. I can share this map, and then you go and find out on your own if this is really true. Ethiopia definitely is mentioned there. They didn't mention the sea though. They did not mention the Atlantic Ocean or to call it the Ethiopian Ocean and so on. They did it. So Ethiopia again um, is here. Ethiopia probably is here. Anterior. This is a repeat of the other map. This is a repeat of the other map. I can actually magnify or look at my cell phone to find out if it is really the case. Yeah, right here. I can clearly see Ethiopia is right there. In fact, that is again your Ethiopia. And then, of course, that is also Ethiopian inferior and Ethiopian superior. I showed you this map. In the previous slide is probably the same map. Again, if you go, again, magnify this area, you will find the current places. Red Sea is there, Nubia is there, Monroe is there, Aksum, everyone is there, including the Eritreans and things like that. Now we are going to a new area, a new place, which I call the more contemporary. This is exactly the year 1699. Rudolph, I think this is the person who visited Ethiopia at that time. This is Historia Aethiopica, and this is just the Habesha Empire, Abyssinian or Habeshan Empire. Okay. Now, in this one, there are very revealing situations. That is the map of Ethiopia as he wrote it from good sources and then by asking questions. Okay. Now, let's see. He didn't draw the map. Actually, he described the people or the places. So what you see here in this book is a province called Amhara. So it goes with lots of names. Let me just magnify one of them. For example, one thing very interesting that I found is there is the name Barara. In fact, there is an issue regarding Barara. The Ethiopian capital or the area is called Barara. It's just amazing that I got that we have this name. So they have Akamba, Ambassal, Anbassit, and the Armon, I hope, Armon, okay, and so on. And then it is Barara. You keep on looking at all these names. So Bagemeder is there, all these names. Those are Amhara. And then basically, from the way I see it, is that he started using the Roman numeral right there. He enumerate the places using Roman numeral. That is a Roman numeral. My understanding that particular numeration tells me that he is talking about a province. For example, the first province is number 1, is he named it Amhara. Okay. Okay. And so under Amhara there are several places under Amhara. Okay. And then next, when you go to the next one, here are now in here. 2 other provinces are named. Probably here that I probably missed copying. Right there is number 2. So therefore, in the numeration, this is probably that's number 1, that is number 2, that is number 3. I apologize. Now, when you go over here, you see number 4, the Bali is probably Bale. Okay, Bale. And then we have here Bizamo, Bugna in the province is mentioned as a province. Bugna is in Wadlo, okay? And then we have Kambata Israel, right there. Kambata Israel, Damoth, Konta, and so on. when you get to number 9, this is number XI, means number 10. It's Dambia. Dambia. There was a province called Dambia. Okay? It has several places in it. And then Naria is the 12th province. And then right there, Fatgar or Ifat is going to be that's the 12th province, the 13th province. And then you have Gombo, Gonka, Gonga, sorry, Gurage. Again, here, Ifat is mentioned, okay? Again, Ifat is mentioned, Samen is mentioned. This, right now, I am at the 24th province. And then we have Set, we have Shawa, and then all the provinces are being mentioned. Then we have Tigray. Okay? Then we have Tigray. Tigray is the 28th province. Tigray is the 28th province. Now, here is something very interesting. As you know, geography is, this is probably recorded in oral history and things like that. Now, I want you to focus on these provinces right there. Okay? These provinces, okay, these provinces, for example, here, Wagara is there, Walkait is there, Sagade is there. These provinces were on their own at one time, on their own. They were mentioned. You will see in the next map that I'm going to show you, they were mentioned as some sort of separate places. They are not in Tigray, they are not in Amhara or something. It looks like they are somewhere in between. The person or the people who made a decision to make the map incorporated them probably independent of what goes on today. The thinking today is different. It's political, again, political. So let's go to the next map. The next map will impress you. Now, here is a map that is used pre-1935. This map is used by Emperor Menelik when he defended Ethiopia. Okay, now look at the shapes of the provinces at this time. Now let's see. In this map, we have all the provinces that we know about, right? All the provinces that we know about, especially if we grow up during Haile Selassie and Derg times. But there are some additions that we have to remember. Okay. Now, right now, Tigray, okay, Tigray is there. Kind of smaller. Don't forget the capital is Mekelle. All right. And then we have, right after Tigray, we have Walkait, we have Semen, we have Wag, we have Lasta, we have Saint. Okay. And then south of them is Bagemudur. So these 4 provinces, actually 5 provinces, were kind of independent provinces, so to speak. They could have been, if they could grow like Tigray or the other places, they would have been, big provinces at this time. But they have, from what I'm hearing, that they have a lot more affiliation with Bagemudur than Tigray. That's what we hear. In fact, that's where the politics is. We don't need to worry about that. And then there was a province called Dankal. Wallo is here, Wallo. That's it. Okay. Dankal, Probably at this time, Dunkal can be Samara, because what happens is, you will see in the next map, this Dunkal is totally destroyed. And then there is a, a region called Afar, okay? And then we have Lasta, Waxim, and Volkite. And then we have Bagemder. Then we have Gojam. Remember, this Gojam over here is a so-called Matakal. You will find out that by in the current, in the TPLF or EPDRF map, they take somehow some portion of Wallaga, and then add Matakal to it, and then created something called Banshangul Gumus, okay? But we'll see about that. Then Shawa is there, Bagemeder has gone there. Of course, Eritrea is not there. Eritrea was under Italy at that time, but they are our brothers. We can add them there, but they are separate country, right? Hararge is Harar. Hararge is Harar. And then Shawa, Addis Ababa. So there's Addis Ababa is right there. Gojam, Debre Marcos. Wallaga, Nakamt. And then Ilibabur, Gore. Okay, it's Gore. Now RC, it's a bigger province. That's where I'm from, Asala, right? Bale, Gobba. Sidamo, Yirgalam. Okay, then there was Borano. Okay, Borano. And then when you come over here is Gurage is right there. Just like as the smaller provinces, there are smaller provinces also, like Limmu was there. Jimma was a province, okay? And then there was Kambata is there. There are other places which, you know, Kafa is here, by the way. And then Bako is here. Maji is here, Mehedeno Maji, and then there are many other provinces here. All these provinces together, they become the so-called the southern provinces and things like that. So this is pre-1935. But this is also, you know, for administrators, it can be a worrisome map because it has some ethnic feel. Perhaps one can understand the next set of map, the next map that is used by Haile Selassie and then followed by Derg. You will see how the administrators or the rulers decided how to administer the country. Basically, they draw these lines, these fake lines. It will give the reader the impression of the existence of something, okay? So when you see a map, wow, there is something like this exists. We don't know if it exists or not. In fact, what are these lines appear to be arbitrary. In many situations, they are arbitrary. Why should a river be divided or a mountain be divided between two people? No, there shouldn't be. So these are political issues. Since they are political issues, people are divided along their political lines and they're dying for something that is in their constructed in their mind, initiated by the political maps. So Ethiopia is at this time is paying for it. Now, the Italians then came in 1935 to about 1945. They used this map. In other words, they destroyed this map and they start teaching our kids and people that this is our map. So let's see what they did. Of course, they did this for their convenience. They call, so basically they destroyed Tigray. There is no Tigray there. Tigray is probably partly included in the under Amhara, most of the part probably under Eritrea because the Italians were ruling Eritrea, okay? And then Harar was created here. They pushed the so-called Somali deep into the country and created Somali, the so-called. Right now, Ethiopia has gone through many wars against Somalia. Somalia wanted to create a country called the Greater Somalia. Okay, they are influenced by the history they learned from their Italian rulers. See, so the Italians are here. So they cut Ethiopia according to the ethnic makeup of that region, and then the entire, this is called Italian Somaliland. So part of Somalia is also under British. Basically, according to the dreamers of Greater Somalia, the map of Somalia, they want it to be eventually this big. That is Somalia, according to them. This is Italian Somalia. And then he left Harar. Now you can clearly see why when TPLF and EPDRF and things like that came, they created a tiny state called Harari. I'm glad that they have them like that. You know, everybody should have their own state, but this can be some sort of the background history. They left alone Shoa. Okay, Shoa is there. And then they put somehow, I don't know how everything is related. They call this the Galla Sidamo land. So Galla, right now, it is a derogatory term. Personally, I do not know where the idea of derogatory come. You can call it Oromo land at this time, okay? It is called Oromo land. Now, this is the Italian map of Ethiopia. Now, what is very interesting is, of course, Somalia is claiming almost a third of Ethiopia. Eritrea should also claim the entire Tigray, because here, the colonial map of Eritrea actually includes the state of Tigray and everything else. They should claim it. You know, it makes sense. All right. Now, the next map will be the most current map of Ethiopia. No, not the most current part of Ethiopia. This map, then after 19, say, after the Italian left, Haile Selassie came from 1962 to about 1987. This is the map that was used by Ethiopian Haile Selassie, for example, used this map. So here we have all the 14 provinces. These 14 provinces, according to their name, is Eritrea is here. Now it is a separate country. Tigray is here. This is Bagemedir. As you can see, Tigray is limited to basically that part, and it looks like the provinces of Walqait, Sagade, and this Wag, all of them are included inside Bagemedir. And then the two states that we mentioned here, Semen, I believe Semen is here, and Saint, they are all into Wallo. And then we have Gojam. We have Wallo is here. Wallo is Dase. Gojam is Debre Marcos. And then we have Shawa. Shawa is Addis Ababa. And then we have Hararge. We have Harar. And then we have Wallaga. Okay, Wallaga is Nakamt. And then we have Ilubabur, Kore. And then we have Arsi, Asadla. And then we have Bale, we have Gobaden. We have Sidamo, no more Borana, okay? Sidamo Yirgalam. We have Gamu Gofa, Arbamin. Oh, Chancha actually, not Arbamin, Chancha. And then we have Kafa, that is Jim. So we have our 14 provinces. That's how I learned basically my geography of Ethiopia, using this map. Okay, now the Derg has done some other things. Let's see what they have done. When the Derg came, what they did was simply they created new ones. For example, they make Eritrea smaller. Okay, they make Eritrea smaller, and then created something called Yasab Astadadar, or Asab. Okay, Asab administration. You see, Asab Astadadar. And then the radar was itself, and then there is Eastern Hararghe, and then there is Western Hararghe. So they divided Harar into several parts. Ogaden, okay, Eastern Hararghe, Western Hararghe, and then we have the radar. Then we have Arsi, we have Bale. Bale got smaller. We have Sidamo. Borana is back, okay? And then we have South Omo, North Omo, Western Shawa, Southern Shawa, Northern Shawa, Eastern Shawa, East Gojam, West Gojam. Look, Matakal is here. Asosa is created. Wallaga got smaller. And then they created out of Wallaga and Ilubabur, probably uh, out of Kafa or Sidamo, yes, Kafa, they create a state called Gambella. And then we have like many provinces and many cities. So this is what Derg did. And then okay, this is what Derg did. Let's see. All right. Now, here is our 1991 map. This map is done with some sort of surgical equipment. So, whoever created this map, TPLF, right, or EPDRF, what they have done is they take the colonial map or the Italian map and then make it even better. So what they have done is they created, took space from Bagameter, okay? They make themselves bigger. Tigray makes itself bigger. They create the Afar region by ethnicity, by language. And then they left Redawara alone. They created Harari, okay? And then this entire Hararghe region is now Somalia, okay? So, remember, Somalia is here, okay? They have created the rationale for Somalia to kind of claim this under the guise of claiming people, my people, you understand? And claim this entire land of Ethiopia, right? That's kind of mean. And then they created this humongous region called Oromia region. Addis Ababa is inside Oromia region. And then that is probably a language block, a cultural block. They create also the Amhara region, but from history, the Amhara, the so-called Amhara is kind of limited by name, but now it has North Shawa and everything, they call it Amhara, but inside Amhara are several groups. You know, a map like this, sustainable, unsustainable, the same thing with the Oromia region, because there are certain tribes here, 13 or 12 tribes in there with different cultures and with different sentiments about themselves, but this is not sustainable. If I don't believe that, because inside it also, this part, all regions, by the way, they have ethnic minorities and too much tension. Now look at Benshangul. Benshangul was a sliver of place. If you look at the 1935 map, now Benshangul Gumuz included Western Gojam, Matakal, and then it included also part of Wallaga and so on. And then they have the Benshangul Gumuz. And then we have Gambella. And then there is another mixture of many peoples. This is just like a small model of Ethiopia, southern nations and nationalities and so on. I think right now it is breaking up to even little pieces. So basically what the rulers of Ethiopia, mostly communists, by the way, which I don't like, divided Ethiopia into ethnic lines. Now all the tribes that Ethiopia has comes out of the colonial map itself, okay? And I call this one improved colonial map. Yeah. So Ethiopia is in big trouble, absolutely big trouble because of this map. Now, perhaps people listening to me or watching this video might say, listen, you are, from a certain political class and you are doing such things because, you know, your place doesn't exist here anymore. So you are mad, therefore you do this. Now I will show you the big problem from a practical example. Perhaps for the novice, for the child, so to speak, of for a student of geography or a person who is into total politics, this may make sense. Okay, this may make sense. But the consequence of a map like this, we clearly see it. We clearly see it in Ethiopia. But let me show you one example in history, the consequence of maps similar to this. One of the biggest issues in Britain history is the history of Northern Ireland. It's related to Northern Ireland. In Northern Ireland, there is a conflict, religious conflict, ethnic conflict, you can call it, between Protestants and Catholic. So when Northern Ireland basically wanted to be an independent country and it wants to be and do its own affair and things like that, the British came up with a map, Caronia. The person who created this map is very well known. His name is Carson, I believe. And then this is the map of Caronia. What they did is basically take Northern Ireland and look at the demographics of Northern Ireland and then protect those people who are in favor of staying with the British Empire. So at that time, the British Empire, there is a nickname or an expression of the British Empire that says, the sun never sets on the British Empire. So if you look at the world map during British rule of the world, you will find that lots of places colored red. So look now at this place that is colored red. So the British basically intentionally created this map so that they have a say on whatever happens to these Catholic followers or to the people who are inside this red zone. So this is Caronia, and then look how they divided it. For example, in one of the places, there are about 900,000 Protestants. In another place, there are 600 or 700,000. Look how they divided it into religion. You see? So what happens is when people see this map, okay, one, they felt a false sense of identity. We have a place, and that is our map. From this point, you are not going to pass our border, and so on and so forth. Some of them became unionists, which means staying with the United Kingdom. Some of them became separatists, so to speak. This has been over decades. Terrorist activities in Northern Ireland is only in 1990 that is solved during the during the Clinton administration. It's called the Friday Accord. Okay, so you see, map is like storytelling. See, okay, a storyteller and the story are related. I tell my story the way I see it fit. I write my history the way I see it fit. I do write the geography the way I see it so that it benefits my ego or it benefits a sense of some sort of an idea that is being promoted. Oh, we are great, we are great. So everybody has their little flag, and in the middle of the graph, they put these wiggly lines calling that their country, okay? Can you imagine what does this mean? For example, what does this mean for a person? For example, in this particular map, what does it mean for a person who lives here? Right there, for example, there is a person living right there, and another person living right across it, okay? What does it mean? What does this map mean? Okay? What does it, so a person lives here, and right across it, another person lives within like 5 kilometers. Actually, a few meters away, just a few meters away. I have seen roads here, where the road actually divides which one is the Amara side, which one is the Oromo side, well, which one is the Afar side, which one is the Amara side. So how is that possible that these two neighbors probably intermarried with each other, the border within a country, having a border within a country, at least when the British were creating Caronia, right? Okay, they have at least British in mind, okay? What does Ethiopia have in mind creating a map, an ethnic map like this? So the consequences of such map is huge. It has created many countries within a country that cannot be governed by central government because they have their own territory, and in fact, they have their own armies, the UI. So Ethiopia is in a very dangerous situation until it destroys this kind of arrangement. It has to reconfigure itself back to square one. There are groups who are suggesting that the Ethiopian map should be drawn according to direction. For example, there are, one suggestion people have is, instead of worrying about this language and ethnic map, one thing to do is we have, okay, right there, right there is northern Ethiopia, right? Here is northern, right? Okay, here is northeastern Ethiopia, here is northwestern Ethiopia, here is central Ethiopia, here is eastern Ethiopia, here is southwestern Ethiopia, here is again, South Ethiopia, here is southwestern Ethiopia, western Ethiopia. So that way we can actually avoid every conflict or anything, okay, by doing that. Well, this is agreeable, but personally, as a person who is less likely to use this map for my personal life, in other words, I don't plan to own anything. Maybe I'll open a school somewhere for people can use. It's okay. It might make sense, but for the local, it might not make sense. Let me show you why it might not make sense. The reason is history. We still have to go back and look at our history. We don't need to destroy names. Okay. For example, when this name Wallo or Eritrea, okay, Wallo, Gojam, Gondar, when these names came about, one thing that you have to know is they carry a lot of history in them. Okay, for example, you can use, these are like landmarkers. These are like landmarkers. When the name Tigray or Tigray comes, it is a name in history that can be searched, that can be found from thousands of years ago. You don't, these are memories. You don't want to destroy that. These are keywords, key names for search. So you have to keep them. That's the argument. So Tigray has to stay Tigray. Okay, don't change anything. Okay, Bagemeder or Gondar has to stay Gondar Bagemeder. Actually, I prefer Bagemeder. Okay, Wallo has to stay Wallo, and so on. Begemeder, Godjam. These are ancient names, okay? Ancient names. They will be found. They are written somewhere. The reason why we are just abandoning these things is because we don't know the history, how it came about. You know, we have to know. Those are historical maps. It's like cutting trees. It's like destroying an ethnic group when you destroy the name. It's like destroying the ethnic group. So Walega should stay Walega, Elibabor should stay Elibabor, and so on. And then this, okay, for some people who are used to this, okay, this is my Benshangul, that is my Asosa, that is my Gambela. Well, you can create something like that. On the other hand, the value of creating provinces like this is that it encourages diversity, okay? The land is not related to your language. The land is not related to your ethnic group, okay? One person must be able to live anywhere he wants. Benshangul, you know, you are not going to call somebody and say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, yeah, this is not your place, go to Benshangul. Why? You understand? If you attach the ethnic group to the land, that's it. That ethnic group is locked. Logically locked. It doesn't mean that the whole world will lock him out, but it's logically locked. So it encourages diversity. Actually, all these things are not necessary. You just put them in large places together. So it is also brings not just diversity of people, diversity of language, it brings also diversity of politics. That way people have a choice, okay? People will have a choice of different opinions from different backgrounds. Okay, so when we were young, when I was young, when I live in Arsi, okay, my friends are Gurage, Oromo. We have people from Walaita. We have people from Tigray. Basically, everyone lived in that little place. Okay, everyone lived in that little place. We love each other. Oh, well, we have our rough edges here and there, but humans are made that way. If you don't have rough edges, if you are perfect, what are you doing on earth? Just go be with your God. You are an angel already. You understand? You are on earth to learn the truth, to discover the truth, and to be truthful to your people and to God, and then God will take you to his place. Right now you are in the training, right? So if everything is perfect, we don't do anything on this world. We just have to die and go, right? So it's not perfect, but we lived happily. We still are happy like that. So my point is that in order to encourage growth, in order to encourage the well-being of young people, in order to encourage beauty in society, beauty in diversity, ethnic maps, language maps, religion-based maps have to be avoided. That is my advice. Get rid of them. And then Ethiopia will be in a better place. In fact, I have put this this particular map I misplaced one of my maps. There is a map that was used by Dirk. Actually, there is a map. This map is 1963 to 1987. And then when EPDRF came, we have a map where without Eritrea, everything else, right? So I put that map on my social media platform just to probe what people are thinking about that map. Many say to me that the map that I'm proposing with the provinces, you see a map that looks like this, not this one, a map that looks like this without Eritrea, Some of the people said this map gives them a headache. Definitely, because they are conditioned. They are children when when young people, they are students. For the last 30 years, 40 years, they are told about their ethnicity, how number one they are. They are so important because they speak this language, and then that group was their enemy. Naftanya did this, Amara did that, Oromo did that. Okay, they learned all this when they were in class. They were just being poisoned. They didn't know. Now when I bring this map, listen, why can't we do something like that? Well, no, this map gives us give me a headache. Many people say that, but over it has that map has over 30,000 views, and only about I don't know 10 people just were mad at me about that, even suggesting it. So what that means is that you have to learn everything. You have to learn everything. You have to learn how to like. Okay, you have been learning how to hate, right? You have to learn how to like and how to appreciate others. The solution to Ethiopian problem is not just simply saying, okay, somebody objects to something, hey, go get that guy, you know, you know. If you can, just, make him disappear. If you can't, just annoy him, okay? But the solution to the problem of society is not like that. At this time, whatever the young people have learned, whatever you learned, you know, you were learning something that makes you enemy of public health. Enemy of public health. Why? Because you learn hate. Hate comes from a map like this. This is the most hateful map. You learn to hate like that. Oh, you claim, oh, this part is mine, that part is mine. Oh, we were so big. All this place was ours. You will never live in it anyway. Well, how? In your lifetime, you may not move further than 50 miles sometimes within your locality. Okay, at these major cities, and you will never see these places. So therefore, this is something that you have to learn, and then decision makers have to start introducing these ideas to the young people. With this, I finished my video. Thank you very much. Thank you for the attention. I hope that this video helps you understand these points of view without thinking about, what the messenger is. Don't think about the messenger. The messenger can be any ethnic group, any religious affiliation, but this is what I see. Thank you.